Matthew Judge, also known as DarkViperAU, is a speedrunner known for his patience and his determination during his over 8,000 hours of speedrunning the game, Grand Theft Auto V. He's a popular figure in the speedrunning and gaming community, with his 2 YouTube channels accumulating over 1 million subscribers put together, and his Twitch channel having over 500k followers as of this video. This documentary will go over the history of Grand Theft Auto V's development and its success, Matt's humble beginnings, his speedruns, Pacifist %, his attempts at beating OHKO, and more. This is the story of DarkViperAU. This is the Millions to One documentary.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the witness protection. What?!
Witness protection for what? No one was convicted of anything. That's foot. A guy who takes his job quite seriously. Oh my god!
No conception of how rare that is. It is millions to one!
I'm now in my car, going to acquire my pizza. I'll be listening to Wheel of Time till I get there, which is only like 5 minutes away, then 5 minutes back. I'll keep you updated, chat, about my pizza acquisition.
Before we talk about DarkViperAU, we have to talk about the game he speedruns and the GTA 5 speedrunning community. Grand Theft Auto V is an action-adventure game that was developed by Rockstar Games and is the 15th game in the Grand Theft Auto series. Upon its release in September 17, 2013, it was an instant hit, becoming the fastest-selling entertainment product in history and grossing over $1 billion in just 3 days after its release. As of this video, it is the second best-selling video game of all time with over 150 million copies sold, and the only game to pass it up since is Mojang's Minecraft. Being regarded as one of the most realistic looking games of all time, GTA 5 pushed the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 to its graphical limits, allowing the game to produce some of the most stunning visuals in any video game in its time. Alongside being one of the most realistic and best-selling games of all time, it was also the most expensive game to produce, as Grand Theft Auto V's budget was $265 million. Needless to say, Grand Theft Auto 5 was, and still is, a huge success. Just 1 day before the game would release, speedrunners were already discussing ways of beating the game as fast as possible. On SpeedDemosArchive.com, a user by the name of Lincolnito made a forum post asking other speedrunners for potential strategies that could be used for speedrunning the game. Already, runners found many useful strats, with a prime example being the downtown taxi service skip. In the game, you can call a taxi service and take a ride to your destination without having to drive there yourself. The catch is, there's an option to skip the entire trip, saving an enormous amount of time it would usually take if you chose to drive to your destination instead. It's a really easy and convenient way of getting from point A to point B within a matter of seconds. As time went on, more and more strats were being found, and a lot of those strats are still being used for GTA 5 speedrunning to this very day. With all these strats found, speedrunners would use them to their advantage in order to beat the game as fast as possible. One of those speedrunners stood out, and to some, he also represents the GTA 5 speedrunning community.
This song sucks! What is this song? I'm deleting this song!
DarkViperAU started streaming Warcraft 3 on Twitch in 2014 while he repaired hearing aids as a part-time job. Gambling his life savings away was his main source of income. He eventually quit gambling, as relying on luck is generally a bad way to earn some quick money, and as we see with some of his runs, he's pretty unlucky.
Oh all this
I looked on the map
because
multiple
I
times.
shot that first
I
guy
run
in the
perfectly.
exact same place every day.
He would eventually go to a university to study psychology and decided to drop gambling altogether. 1 year prior to graduating, Matt decided to speedrun the game for himself.
Easiest jump of my life. I don't care that it's raining. Question me like, why were you destroying golf clubs? I'll be like, fucking GTA Golf, I hate it. Why? My godlike sub 635 died to a fucking bug I've never seen before. Not only did I get a bug that is so fucking rare, I got my tire removed by 2 fucking shots from a fucking helicopter.
You have no conception of how rare that is. It is millions to 1!
Over the years, Matt would continuously speedrun the game in each of the game's main speedrun categories, getting mediocre to decent times in his runs. As his hours in GTA 5 increased and his speedrunning optimization got better, his placement in the speedrun.com leaderboard went higher after each run.
It is such a huge commitment to do this.
needless to say, Matt was unstoppable, and it's safe to say that he was the big cheese in GTA 5 speedrunning. Along with speedrunning, he also started to do a very hard and grueling challenge in the game. That's right, I'm talking about the Pacifist percent. On May 25th, 2016, Matt uploaded the first episode of GTA 5 Pacifist to his YouTube channel. In the series, he would play the game as normal, but with a catch. He's not allowed to kill any NPCs as the character he's playing as, unless the game requires it. If the game requires him to kill to progress, he would have to melee or pistol the enemy. He's also not allowed to use mods or armor, unless the armor is also required. With all that set in stone, a lot of missions would take literal hours to days to complete, as a lot of the missions were absolute hell to complete without killing anyone. Regardless, Matt would do his best to not kill anyone, despite how tedious any mission in the game would be. While it is unfortunately impossible to complete the game without killing someone, Matt would still continue the game regardless, trying his best to kill as few people as possible. As of this video, the series is currently on its 25th episode, where Matt would try to avoid killing anyone on the mission Meltdown, but to no avail as he had to kill every Merryweather soldier in the mission. Alongside Pacifist percent, Matt would also partake in another challenge where he would attempt to complete GTA 5 without taking any damage.
What? There aren't cougars in missions!
The one-hit KO mod is a GTA 5 mod that limits the player to 1 HP. If they take even the slightest bit of damage, you would die instantly, and the death counter on the right would increase by 1. On March 1st, 2020, Matt would upload the first episode of OHKO. In the end, Matt finished the game after 163 deaths and 11 hours of playing. Not bad for a first time run. In the second episode, he finished the game after 137 deaths and 11 more hours of gameplay. At the end of the game, Matt chose answer A as opposed to answer C, since answer A requires the player to chase Trevor to kill him instead of killing a bunch of enemies that could possibly kill him in the process. As the episodes went on, the death counter on the left decreased more and more as more strats were being discovered that made dying less likely to happen. One of those strats being alt strat, a method used to slow the game down by holding down the character swap button. Doing this allowed the button to load enemies and the environment less. It's incredibly slow, but regardless, it still does well and it is still used in OHKO runs to this day. Matt's goal for OHKO was to obviously complete the game without dying and to enjoy a boost in his career. Unfortunately for him, however, another player was already one step ahead of him. On May 16th, 2021, a runner by the name of Unnamed complete a no damage run of GTA 5. Of course, everyone was suspicious since Unnamed was barely involved with the GTA 5 speedrunning community, if at all. He sort of popped out of nowhere. On top of this, at the time he completed OHKO, he didn't complete it live and there was no evidence of his practice prior to completing the challenge. Despite all of this, Unnamed's OHKO run was still confirmed to be real since he completed it for a second time during a livestream. Matt and his followers were pretty devastated by this news. While a lot of Matt's supporters praised Unnamed for his achievement, Unnamed still ended up receiving a ton of unneeded hate from some of Matt's followers, which by itself is pretty petty considering Unnamed was probably inspired by Matt to complete OHKO in the first place. Anyways, in response to the news, Matt did everything in his power to make sure that people didn't rub his failure in his face, and he also decided to remove Unnamed from his Discord server as he was bragging in the general chat about his success, as he says here.
In response to this, especially given my already present illness, pressures, sleeplessness, and stress, I felt it was in my best interest to limit the amount that people would be able to throw my failure in my face. Consequently, I removed it all from my Discord, including Unnamed, who I was watching brag in the general section. All I wanted was to be left alone, and not be bombarded every 6 seconds with a message about my failure, especially given that I was already barely holding myself together due to reasons entirely divorced from this news. I simply wanted to quietly mourn all that I had lost, holding myself together so I could make my content as normal.
The OHKO crown has slipped right through Matt's fingers after years of practice, strat finding, and determination. It's like running, then all of a sudden your legs just give in, and you just can't run no more. Ultimately, Matt had just lost the glory for the kill. Despite all this, however, it didn't stop Matt from attempting to reach his goal. After losing the OHKO crown, Matt still tried his best to complete OHKO, even when his legs gave in. And even though some followers soured over Unnamed's achievement, they still believed in Matt to complete what he has been working for years. All he had to do was believe that he could.
Believe. I know that sounds like a cat poster, but it's true.
It's funny, I'm actually really calm, because I sincerely think I'm gonna fail. You guys believing you're just gonna get let down. Don't. Told ya. Headshot's literally impossible. Headshot has never happened before in the history of me running this game. Those guys do not target Trevor in that corner. I have practiced that hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of times and never seen that even once. I told you guys, I am the least lucky person on this planet. This run is not about skill, it is about pure luck.
Unfortunately, right when Matt was on his way to a victory, his horrible luck got the best of him and died to an enemy that wasn't supposed to target him. After being screwed over many times by RNG in the game, Matt wasn't even angry at this loss. He knew something like that was going to happen from the start. He just had to accept that he was the unluckiest person in speedrunning. The crown had slipped through his fingers yet again, and unfortunately, it probably won't be the last time it will. After yet another tragic loss in an attempt to claim the OHKO crown, Matt would still continue to do OHKO. As of this video, he has done 2 more OHKO runs ever since he died in the big score heist. Matt's horrible luck just goes to show that success does not come easy and life is unfair. One day, Matt will complete OHKO. But for now, I think we can all agree that Matt is just getting too old for this nonsense. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the Millions to One documentary. This was my first ever documentary I ever made, so if it's a bit bad, per se, I apologize. Also, if I got anything mentioned in the video wrong or incorrect, please leave a correction in the comments with a timestamp, and I'll be sure to leave the correction in the description of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I will definitely make another documentary in the future, but for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.